Hi everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this very special collaboration in which we are sharing our favorite poetry books. Now this video was inspired by Poetry Tea Time, and if you're unfamiliar with Poetry Tea Time and its creator, Julie Bogart, I encourage you to check the description box below for more information. You can find Julie on her website at bravewriter.com as well as pretty much everywhere else. All her social media links will be down below, so do be sure to find her. She is a treasure and a wonderful resource for the homeschooling community. So behind me are some of our favorite poetry books, and I'm going to be sharing those with you a little bit later on, as well as an audio collection of famous poets reading their poetry. It's amazing, so do be sure to stick around so that you can listen to those audio clips. And don't forget that this is a collaboration, so do be sure to click on the link at the end of this video so that you can check out the complete playlist. Some of the participants are participating via Instagram, and their links will be down below so that you can check them out as well. Okay, so on to the poetry books. The first book I want to show you is one of our favorite all-time poetry books. It's called Plum, and I picked it up about 15 years ago, and it's still a family favorite. It's by Tony Mitton, and it's illustrated by Mary GrandPre, who is the illustrator of the Harry Potter books, so you won't be disappointed by these illustrations. They are larger than life, fantastic, beautiful, and colorful, and kind of silly and whimsical, and they match the poetry perfectly. And I want to show you some of our favorite poems here. The first one is Mrs. Bhattacharya's Chapati Zap Machine, and I'm pretty sure that I'm pronouncing that wrong, but we've been pronouncing it that way since we started reading this book, so we're probably not going to change the way we pronounce that one. And our other favorite one is Mrs. Rummage's Muddle Up Shop. All of the poems are just classics for our family. We love them all. They've got great stories, or they're just really silly and funny. We really love this book, and I really do hope that you'll check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. All right, the next set of books I want to show you, I'm sure you've seen. They are the poems by Shel Silverstein, and we have Falling Up, A Light in the Attic, and Where the Sidewalk Ends, and they're all really similar, so I'm just going to show you one of them for now. They all have these sketch drawings that are kind of a little bit weird and silly and even grotesque at times, and a little bit inappropriate as well. A lot of times I would just take a Sharpie and just kind of color over things that, weren't that appropriate for the kids. And the poetry itself is super silly and great for kids. It's easy to understand. I feel like a great introduction to poetry if you haven't ever really enjoyed it before. So there are 3 in this series, and I'm sure there are more books that he has. There's also one of these that has an audio CD that goes along with it, so you could also listen to the poetry as well, which I think is fantastic because poetry is meant to be listened to, not just read. Now I want to show you 2 more poetry books here that we've only just started using. They are the Waldorf Book of Animal Poetry and the Waldorf Book of Poetry. And these ones are chock full of so many different poems. There are no illustrations. There are a variety of topics and lots of different poets, and it's indexed really well, so it's really easy for you to find what you need. And this is something that you could read one poem every day, or you could pull this out for Poetry Tea Time, or for our purposes, I'll pull out certain poems that we need for our unit studies. So these are 2 books that I want to show you, even though we haven't used them too much since they are new to our library. The next thing I want to show you is the Caedmon Poetry Collection. This is an amazing resource. It's such a treasure. This is a collection of poets reading their poetry. Now, this collection comes on 3 CDs, and I do want to remind you to listen to the poetry beforehand. There are some poems that are not appropriate for younger listeners, as well as some poems that have some bad words in them. So do listen to it first. We didn't know when we first listened to this, so do be mindful of that. One of our favorites is Robert Frost reading The Road Not Taken. It's absolutely beautiful, and there are many others that became our favorite after listening to this collection.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveller. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black.
People and things crowd in. Eyes can be bruised and hurt by people as well as things. Better to live in the dark. I sit on a wooden bench, watching the passers-by, sometimes whole families. I am fed up with the light. This is a winter month, first on the calendar. I shall begin to speak when I am fed up with the dark.
What if a much of a which of a wind gives the truth to summer's lie, bloodies with dizzying leaves the sun, and yanks immortal stars awry?
If I told him, would he like it? Would he like it if I told him? Would he like it? Would Napoleon? Would Napoleon? Would he like it? If Napoleon, if I told him, if I told him if Napoleon, would he like it if I told him? If I told him, if Napoleon?
I hope that you enjoyed my collection of poetry books. I would love to hear some of your favorites. Please leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to check out the complete playlist of everybody participating in this collaboration. All the information is also in the description box below.